What's up, Madden Men of the People? ZFarls here with a Monday night live stream, and we are going to watch the second half of the Clemson-Alabama game, but we're also going to break down the Team of the Week Wildcard Edition led by Antonio Brown, plus play a game with that item in our lineup. We're going to be testing him out between Steve Smith, Demaryius Thomas, and Antonio Brown. Now, let's take a look at the items that are available. Jake Ryan is the first man up. He is an 89 overall middle linebacker, and I think he's one of the best of the bunch of this week at 88 speed in the middle. He is super balanced, 87 play rec, which you could definitely bring up a little bit, 92 pursuit, good hip power, pretty solid block shed, decent strength. 88 speed is pretty fast at MLB, especially for a guy with 89 overall, like at that range with field general, which you could boost up. Potential hot hands candidate right here. And for what he is costing right now, $15K, I don't think you should sleep on that Jake Ryan if you need a guy in the middle. Now, Devontae Adams is someone I would pass on, but he has 90 speed with 93 acceleration. That means he's going to play faster than the 90 leads you to believe. Plus, he has 93 spec, which you could boost up. You could get this guy up to 93, 95, 96 spec catch. So if you need a spec catch guy, I mean, he is going to be a pretty inexpensive option. Run blocking, not quite his thing, but not going to really get it done in that sense. But for 15K, 95, 96 spectacular catch as Clemson lets up the football in this one. Cliff Avril is a guy who has always had good finesse move. He's right at 90 play rec, right at that barrier, depending on how you boost. 91 block shed. Now his strength is very low. So Cliff Avril, he has one very high pass rush move. The second one is still pretty good. This is his other Team of the Week, so you can see he's gone up 2 from there, 1 on the finesse, 2 speed, a couple acceleration. At 85 speed, that's the baseline for an item, so he doesn't break any barriers, but the 93 finesse, that's up there with, Curse, up there with some other legendary style guys. So if he gets those animations when you move him inside, this could be a cheap option. Along with the play rec, this Avril could work out and maybe save you some coins if you're looking for a finesse pass rusher. Thomas Rawls has been a pretty good budget back for a lot of people, similar maybe to the Jordan Howard, Tevin Coleman. Like maybe you could just see if he will fit what you need him to do. Now he's at 91 speed, and I know those other guys got upgrades too. So he's building off of Football Outsiders. He's up to 91 speed. His agility is a little low, but it usually is lower with truck backs. His strength's solid, not legendary. His carry's above 90, which is good. He's got pretty good route running, and this is a solid overall back. He's, the Coleman's at 60. The Howard, the new one's way up, but the Football Outsiders one's even still up at 50 and will come down. So he's right at that budget range, and this Rawls is looking pretty feisty as a salary cap back and as a mediocre 50K level back, that kind of mid-tier. You don't want to spend on the Shady McCoy, you don't want to spend on the big Derrick Henry, you don't want to spend on a David Johnson. You might be able to get in that Rawls for the right price. Lawrence Timmons, 84 speed. This is a guy you got to dig in on because you see that 84 speed and you go, well, the Jake Ryan's faster. He's going for 100K, but he has way more hip power at 94. He has both pass rush moves, 88 and 90. So with the right guys in the lineup, you could get him boosted at middle linebacker to both pass rush moves over 90. That's pretty insane. Good pursuit. 93 play rec is extremely high. Now, he's not a coverage guy, so he has good play rec and good pass rush. 89 block shed's going to play the run well. The strength is okay. The speed's a little bit low, but the pursuit and the play rec should make up for a lot of that. So if you have a role where you need a middle linebacker to rush the passer, I can't think of a better option than this Lawrence Timmons. Now, that role doesn't exist on my team because I don't really run that nickel 2-4-5 double A gap where those guys are in there and they might rush. But for the right type of player, this item has a fit, and I love items with fits, and that's where you get a lot of value from. Now, the last guy up here is Randall Cobb. He scored 4 touchdowns, blah, 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 blah. Unfortunately for Randall Cobb, he didn't have the best season this year. He did get a 90 option right here, and he has an 87. But you notice he doesn't have many Team of the Weeks or Football Outsiders. So he's building up. They gave him 92 speed, which is really respectable, and 95 agility, super respectable. 93 elusive, with 90 route running. But at the end of the day, Randall Cobb is not going to... I mean, you could boost this guy up. He's the more I dig into him, looking pretty good. If this guy gets a playmaker in the future, because this spec could be boosted slightly, and that's not really what his role is going to be. He's going to be more of a speedy slot guy. I mean, look at Julian Edelman, who has this type of agility, but doesn't have this type of speed. It's rare that they do. And then he has this catch in traffic, which you'd have to boost slightly to get there, but it's pretty close. I'd like to see his route running much higher, of course. Marvin Harrison level. Could you get the Tim Brown, who's not going to be as athletic, but it's going to have a little more catch in traffic? This could be pretty decent right here, if you were to take a look. Now, the last item here is Antonio Brown. And this was a hot topic today. 44 cap on this AB. He scored 2 touchdowns, I believe, in the first quarter alone. He's going for 570. And if you compare him to the 93 Chemistry Master, who many, many people have, you'll see he has 1 more speed, another agility point, it looks like. His route running goes up 1. So everything pretty much bounced up 1 on this Antonio Brown and gets him to 95. It's route running chemistry. Now the big difference is this one has 4 chemistries, and this one has 2 Pittsburgh and 2 route running. So he has 4 chemistries, but they're not as spread out. Now, you want to get your Antonio Brown to 96 route running. So he's already got it pretty much built in. So you'll get special routes. But you can pretty simply get it with this other one too. At 92, he's not going to burn anybody over the top of the defense, in my opinion. I just don't think at 92 speed you're going to, people are using the Cooks out there, 93, 94. They're using the Tyreek Hill, 93, 94 speed, and you're just not burning people over the top. So what is this AB, what's his thing? He's just an all-around stud. Like, you're not going to spec with AB. You're not going to treat him like an Ed McCaffrey or a Randy Moss. You're not going to catch in traffic with AB like a Jerry Rice. But if you do compare him to Jerry Rice and you compare him to Marvin Harrison, they all have the same route running. They all have the same spec. And I believe he has the best catch in traffic. So those are the 2 most comparative guys that I would say. So I would look at his Jerry Rice as a comparison. And you actually could look at Ed McCaffrey. Ed's a special case because of his height and his route running. It's a weird combo that's very rare. That's why you see so many Ed McCaffreys being used, because he has the body type with the route running. But if you look at the price, the Harrison's going to be a little bit less. Same cap. Rice has the playmaker, which I like, but he's going to cost you a little bit less. I think the Brown will come down. You see that their shape is the same over here. So these are who I would compare him to, and I would just look at cost. So he has 1 speed extra, which is nice. They have the same spec. He has 2 catch in traffic, and they all have 95 route running. So these are the 3 guys I would compare, and I would just say, well, do I want this chemistry? Do I want this playmaker? Or do I want the freeze? You got to get one of these guys to 96, and then it's just kind of based off. Brown is the best version of them. Do you want to pay extra, or do you want to go playmaker? And that's what I think you guys should consider when you're looking at Team of the Week wild card additions. We're breaking it down right now live on twitch.tv/Madden Tips. Guys, we're watching the National Championship, and now we're going to jump into a game. We'll show you what receivers we're about to test out. Chat is popping right now, and let's take a look. So we have replaced Brett Favre for now with Randall Cunningham because we want to try and run as much as possible. But receiver-wise, we're playing Dion for the playmaker and the speed. Kelvin's in there to give us spec. I'm considering removing him, but I'm not sure yet. We have Hopkins with catch in traffic, giving it to the whole team, and he's playmaker. If he wasn't playmaker, he'd be gone, but he has playmaker. We have Steve Smith, who's not activated, but would have playmaker. Who is getting the catch in traffic boost. We We have Demaryius Thomas, and then we have Randy Moss. I have hidden Antonio Brown in the lineup at punt returner, so I'll be able to sub him in, and you'll see me sub him in as it goes. So let's take a look at Demaryius right now by clicking in on him and look at the receivers he's going to go against potentially. We'll compare him to the new AB. AB is 1 speed faster. And remember, these guys are getting +2 boost. So Brown would be getting +2 spec, and he would be getting +2 catch and traffic. So he'd really only be 1 less catch and traffic, 2 less spec. But he's far more elusive. Now, Demaryius is a much better blocker. So he has much better strength and has some of the highest run block in the game. You see the stock way, though. Antonio Brown is a much, much better route runner. So they're not really the same. If you compare him to Randy Moss is your spectacular catch guy. He's at 96, but with the boosts, you're going to see him up around 98 if he's in the proper spots. And then Steve Smith, if you were to compare him to him, he's going to have the catch in traffic, 94 versus 95, but Thomas is boosted, and Steve Smith isn't boosted in this situation right here. So those are some options that we're going to test out and kind of see how it goes. Dallas Clark is another great route runner, along with that Ed McCaffrey, both right at 95, that you can consider for those roles. We do have Randall Cobb, but we won't be able to test him this game, but once we test Antonio Brown, we'll swap out Brown, and then we'll put in Randall Cobb. I'm kind of like not really on speaking terms right now with Randall Cobb. Like, it's cool, but it's not cool. You guys know what I mean. We also will be looking at the new Todd Gurley Energizer in this game because we haven't used him before. So we'll be looking to see if those guys are somebody that we can get together. All right, we're going to jump into game and break it down. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the stream style. Let me know if you'd rather see more just streams or more Team of the Week separate and then stream game separate. We're building it all in tonight because it's the National Championship. Secret stream on a Monday on Twitch. We don't tweet it out, but they know. The chat knows. Like, the chat knows where we're at. So, Wolfman here just chirping. One gentleman in the chat has both. He says Gore moves a little faster. Out of position milestone chemistry. I haven't seen it. Odell Beckham Jr. What does it do? It puts free safety. Odell gives him deep threat. So this might be the most game-changing milestone players is how it reads. EA Sports released 12 new milestones today featuring players from out of position program. What makes these players unique is they have added chemistry types that correspond to their natural position. For example, they have offensive chemistry. So now you can get defensive players that go on the offensive side of the ball. Well, this is big for Poe.
Brandon Gordon, Charles Davis,
no doubt this is big for Poe.
Ultimate team matchup as you get a peek at some of the big players in today's
he'll
game,
actually play most of the season.
Game as well. Let's get the party started.
Could work for Urlacher, but I'm not sold. And that's pretty much it. None of these guys are going to really sub, like, not really worth starting unless it's super close and you think you have some type of advantage. So,
a beautiful sunny afternoon, and we are underway from Santa Clara.
We're returning the kick. I know the screen's up. 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 All right. So formation, I mean, when you're playing with these types of receivers, you got to sub Kelvin Benjamin right out, put in Demaryius out wide. DeAndre Hopkins has to come out for Steve Smith, and then Antonio Brown has to go in the slot. And then we're going to, but we picked the wrong formation. So we're going to throw a screen to Steve Smith.
They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side.
It wasn't there. We tried to run instead. Bad job by us in that formation. So we're going to put Demarius out wide. We're going to put Antonio, Steve Smith there. We're going to put AB there. We'll leave Moss in the slot. I really should put Moss out wide and move Steve Smith in the slot, but we didn't get that done. First pass, Dallas Clark, Randall Cunningham. That is a dot right there across the middle. Let us change that out. So we're going to take 89 out for a second. We're going to put 89 there. And then we're actually going to put Moss there. And we're going to call wide corner. We're going to motion Steve Smith across. Probably, no, we're going to run out of time, so we won't do that. And we're going to throw to Dallas Clark again. So I know we have all these new receiving weapons, but I just don't think you can get away from Dallas Clark in your game plan. Like, he might just be too strong. So we're going to motion Antonio Brown over. Our opponent's not really sending any pressure, so that's been good. We're going to look for Moss. Oh, yeah. And that's a Randy Moss 98 spec catch right there. He didn't even animate. He just went to the ball. In this situation, we're at the 8-yard line. And because of that speed, you have to respect it as a defender. What I'd really like to do is make sure you're somehow in contact with him, and he's able to do exactly I'd like to have Demarius out wide, but just have him run block and kind of throw a toss out there, but I don't know. We're going to try a high point to Kelvin. High point to Kelvin. High point to Kelvin. Got it. He didn't get his feet down. I thought he got his feet, but down before his butt hit. But unfortunately, looks like Kelvin did not. We might try a screen here. I don't know if Moss is a good guy to have blocking or not, but we'll try it. I'm not sure he would have gotten his feet in on that one. Is he really? Oh, Steve Smith fighting. So good blocking from Steve Smith. So we went to Moss. He is a new toy for the offense. So good routes. Everything else kind of opened up for Dallas Clark. We took the easy throw across the middle. Then we took the easy throw in the corner. Just felt like we had to do that and get the quit. And that's a quick review of those players. We'll end our YouTube video here, but if you were here on twitch.tv/Madden Tips for the secret stream, you would watch me play another game right now where I would go even further in on Demarius and even further in on Steve Smith. But you'll have to stop by next time. I'm going to go hit the chat, answer their questions, break it down, finish watching the national title game. Hope you guys have a good night. Let me know if you like that or just would rather see just the wild card. You'd like to skip around, let me know. Until next time, YouTube, lock up.